So guys, we're back. We are back and we are talking about something which seems to be taking the basketball world, or maybe just basketball Twitter, by storm. And it is one specific Twitter clip that has kind of got people riled up. And I started looking a little bit more into this entire situation. So, the clip in question is this one right here. This is some guy dribbling on the spot, and he just launches the ball off the guy's face. Like, say it like it is. This is not an off-the-easy move. This is not a street ball move. This guy has a wind-up and launches the ball off the dude's face. He is not bouncing the ball off the top of the guy's head. He's not bringing him into the thing and bouncing off his head. He has thrown a ball at a dude's face. And that would be a fairly, decent pace of a pass. And he launches the ball off the dude's face. He then responds with 17 dribbles, the guy standing there, and then steps back to nowhere and bricks. So this clip is obviously going viral everywhere, and there's a reason for that. And it's because it's maybe the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen on a basketball court. And I'm the person who made How Good Is the Professor, actually. I watched a lot of street ball. I watched a lot of The Professor. We grew up in the and one era. This isn't and one. But at the end of the day, this is the modern day. Dude's got 355k followers on Instagram. The dude's obviously entertaining to watch. But I'm watching this dude in LA Fitness, and I'm like, basically, dude's got 25,000 YouTube subscribers. So if you guys watch him in the LA Fitness, watch the way this dude's playing defense on him. So let's take a look here. Let's take a look right here at this. So basically, this dude's standing still. He's standing still. This dude's pulling off all these dribble moves. This guy's standing there watching the dude. And he puts on 5 dribble moves to beat a guy who is standing still. He gets into position and just stops. And then again, in fairness, he does go by the guy. Then gets swatted by a dude playing some sort of help defense. But there's another clip that I noticed, and this is what people are talking a lot about. Not going to talk about the half-court shots. Dude's wearing TikTok famous, it is what it is. It's 2021. We can't expect kids. But, look at the way he's playing offense. So, he's done nothing. And look what his move is. Dude is running away from the basket. His moves aren't going towards the basket. Every move he makes, he's getting further from the basket. This is madness. But there is a big but in this scenario. Is this a bad thing? Because I'm not sure we're gonna see dudes try to replicate this guy. He's getting clowned everywhere. There's no ifs and buts about it. This dude is getting clowned. But at the end of the day, is having some flair basketball players, is having guys like this that bad a thing? The Professor, we grew up watching The Professor. A lot of us did. A lot of us grew up watching this guy. And the one thing with The Professor is, if you watch some of the moves that he puts on, the difference between, a lot of people I see him comparing to The Professor. And I will show you guys, just from a basketball perspective, the difference between Professor. The Professor, with his basketball moves, he will, literally, that's a hesitation, and he's going forwards. The Professor can go by most people. Any random player in a park, he's going by you one-on-one. He's making nice moves. He is literally out there. Again, look at that. When he's throwing the fakes, he is waiting for something to happen. He's waiting for someone to bite on the face. He's doing, obviously, a lot of these moves would be illegal, but, he's doing stuff that actually have a purpose. He's going forward and going to the basket. Obviously, this is just some showing off, but, we look at his actual move. Look, he makes a hesitation. Obviously, this guy's not a great player he's coming up against. He sees that the guy's standing, and then he just takes him left. Makes the easy layup. Simple as that. It's quite, obviously, there's some showman stuff before it, but, a lot of what he does in these videos are simple basketball. He goes one way, obviously, his handle's tight. He does what he does. The Professor is one of the best players at what he does. Is he a high-level pro player? I don't personally believe so, and until we see him playing in it, I can't necessarily be proven wrong. But at the end of the day, there's a big difference between what someone like the professor's doing and what this kid's doing, playing against. And you can argue the kid's playing against better players, and I do agree. But like, this guy's launching the ball at people's faces. He is making dribble moves and running away from the basket. And I saw a clip of him literally turn his body away from the basket, sprint towards the halfway line, turn around and shoot a half-court shot, and it went in. And I'm just like, if I'm any sort of defender, the way to guard the dude, the dribble dude, is just stand there. Like, you don't need to do anything. He's not going anywhere. If he dribbles into a step back, double step back three from the halfway line, like, who really cares? I'm not entirely sure if in a 5v5 setting he tried to ISO me right now. Me 2 years ago, not a chance that dude scores. But even me right now, when if I tried to run up and down the floor 3 times, I'd probably throw up last night's dinner. I still probably could guard this guy because you don't need to physically move, you just stand there. So, the only thing that I necessarily don't like about the whole situation is this right here. We're seeing a lot more of not just this guy's an exhibition player, because that's what he is. This dude's an exhibition player. We are seeing a lot more NBA ready. We're seeing a lot more like this dude is a pro player, got a D1 offer showing off these clips. We're getting more and more talk about this guy being a legitimate basketball player. And that's where I'm just like, yeah, this is kind of where it's getting a little bit crazy. Like, there are good things and bad things about what's happening. Obviously, for the kid himself, fair play. Like, if he manages to make being an entertaining basketball player into a living, congrats. Like, we've seen T-Jazz do it really well. We've seen the professor do that really well. Congratulations. And I hope he has nothing but success. My only problem is that there's so many players that are growing up, especially the younger generation, the 13, 14-year-olds, that are going to be looking at TikTok. And they're going to try to emulate this dude. It's going to be, they're just going to dribble, take bad shots, dribble, especially because a lot of these kids are probably watching Julian Newman as well. They're watching these type of players because these are the type of players that are, well, their highlight clips are not only the most entertaining, they're also bring the most infamy. Like, at the end of the day, these type of clips, they get so much infamy because people like myself, like, I'm one of the most, in terms of like basketball purists, fundamentally sound, like, I'm the biggest lover of fundamentally sound players over some people that will intentionally do extra. Some players, in fairness, a lot of NBA players have the skill to do stuff that may not seem fundamentally sound, may not seem the right decision, just good enough that it goes in, and for them it's a good shot. At the end of the day though, is this a bad thing for the sport of basketball? And when I initially made this video, I was weighing up like the pros and the cons, and I'm just like, the fact that this guy, like, people are really like pushing this person, just like Julian Newman, that it's gonna be a bad thing for basketball. And at the end of the day, I'm going to change my mind on this entire topic right now, compared to where I was even a day ago, the more I think about it. So we're looking at players in the NBA. When we're looking at these ultra skilled players, they're less, as far as point guards go, players, yeah, they have their better handles. I just don't know what it is. There just seems to be just a little bit just less flair. There seems to be that little bit just less flair players that play with more freedom. Because a lot of the time, the best stuff on the court, especially the best stuff to watch, is someone doing stuff that a coach may think is a bad shot, a coach may think is a bad idea. And we're seeing that being coached more and more out of kids. And we're looking at the likes of Kyrie Irving, the likes of Lance Stevenson. Yeah, they make a lot, like Kyrie Irving, a lot less. But like someone like Lance Stevenson might make quite a few mistakes on the floor. Man, he was interesting to watch. He was very enjoyable to watch. Any of these guys that can break people down off the dribble, even if they're going to make mistakes, even if they're not great, these guys are going to be fun players to watch. And when you get someone that's enjoyable to watch and also be as talented as a Kyrie Irving and as good as a high level as a Kyrie Irving, those guys are some of the most fun players to watch in the NBA. And I think that type of play is being coached out of a lot of young players because they're being told just fit a system, just fit in. And at the end of the day, like, I'm watching it from football or soccer where you're seeing less and less flair plays. I think basketball is kind of going down that route where you're seeing a lot more guys that are, yes, they're more skilled. They're able to do it. They're a lot more athletic. They're a lot more skilled. A lot of these young players that are coming in are very, very good at being 3-and-D players. But there's just, with a lot of the players, I just feel like there's something that a little bit missing. The like factor. The like the thing that Luka Doncic has, where it's just, where he just has that something. That's something that players don't have. Like a lot of guys that I felt had that, like Boris Diaw had it. That just feel for the game. And I think that's kind of going away from a lot of NBA and high level players. And I think that maybe not this guy in particular, but I think that the like resurgence of street ball type content, at this like street ball level content, I think it's just going to improve the game from a watcher's perspective. Because yeah, there's going to be a whole lot of 12-year-olds who are trying, instead of working on their fundamentals, are working on stupid dribble moves. There is. But at the same time, while there's going to be those guys that are working on the stupid dribbles, no matter whether this guy exists or not, whether these guys exist or not, they're still not going to make anywhere in basketball. The difference is that maybe that there's that one kid who sees it, works on his handle, but also is disciplined enough to work on other things. And you've suddenly got a bunch of guys that are not only more skilled in terms of handle-wise, being able to do everything, because a lot of NBA players can't do everything, but have that confidence to do something that's maybe not seen as the right option in a lot of situations. So, while I think it's just kind of, it's stupid to promote guys like this as like NBA bound, and I've seen it a lot, especially with Julian Newman early on. I'm like, I remember I made a few critical videos. I'm like, look, the dude's not an NBA player. But at the end of the day, like, he was a social media basketball player, and he's going to make a lot of money off being a social media basketball player. So for his skill level and his height, no matter what, his basketball career has already been a success. And for this guy right here, he's going to be able to more than make it. While I don't like the fact that he launched the ball off somebody's face, like in terms of his actual dribble moves and doing stuff, the dude can just spam crossovers. The dude, like, he doesn't go anywhere with his dribbling. I wish the guy the best, but I don't think he's a great basketball player. But at the end of the day, hopefully the dude's able to make a living out of it. And because he's out, the fact he's got 355,000 followers on TikTok means he's obviously, a lot of people enjoy watching him. And at the end of the day, is that not what sport? Is sport not entertainment at the end of the day? And enjoyment is all that really matters. So my opinion's kind of changed on this entire topic. Like, again, this isn't like this highly edited video. This is just me just kind of talking about this. Like, I was originally, especially a couple of years ago, heck, until I really thought about it earlier today, I was against all this stuff. I'm just like, this is bad for basketball. This is a stupid thing to be glorifying. And to an extent it is. But worst case scenario, we're just going to see a lot less bang average. And I don't even mean like college level role players. We're just going to see a lot less bang average high school JV level role players. For the best of the best, maybe someone takes one or two of these drill moves. Maybe someone gets into watching dribbling basketball from this guy right here. They start watching what like some actual really good street ball players were doing to try to implement some of those stuff into their game, so they have a little bit of flair, a little bit of that oomph factor about them. So I think the resurgence of kind of street ball, especially on TikTok, it's gonna be a big thing. This guy, I don't know. Hope he makes a living, but I think it's a positive. So anyway, that's the video. Again, a little bit of a different format to what I usually do. I normally would have clips of the players, but obviously, like, those videos took 5-6 hours to make, whereas this one is a couple of hours of research, a couple of hours just writing out points, and a little bit of time recording, a little bit of time editing. So anyway, yeah, that is pretty much it. That's the video. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.